What da danyo, what da dang, and go danyo, oh, what da dang. This is the Black Pot. AKA Kuku Show number where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we only just criticize to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is the Black Pot, AKA Kuku Show number, and I'm most excited to be with you. Now here, my brother, my sister, we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, it's just on one condition: to build and not to destroy. Oh my God, have mercy. That is why we say, and we continue to say that, we are in the service of God and country. It's all about the people. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. My brother, my sister, this is the Black Pot, and today we have a number of things to look at from the newsreel, where we always keep it real. This is the day the Lord has made in the Black Pot. Now, I want to read this as the curtain raiser from Ghana Web, and it says, John Mahama donates power plant to Ashanti West Assemblies of God. And I read, former president and the 2024 flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has donated a power plant to the Ashanti West Assemblies of God Church. Now, the donation was in fulfillment of the promise the flag bearer made during the ordination of Reverend pastors at the 9th annual Ashanti Region, in fact, Ashanti West Regional Council meeting in January 2024. Now, the presentation was done in his stead by Professor Joshua Alabi, a member of his campaign team at the Grace Chapel Assemblies of God Church, Ghana, at Kwadaso in Swom on Sunday, March 24, 2024. Now, the Assemblies of God Ashanti West Regional Superintendent Reverend Augustine Kofi Bempa and some church leaders received the power plant on behalf of the church. Now, handing over the power plant to the church, Professor Joshua Alabi noted that the equipment will greatly assist the church, especially during the current electricity power outages. John Dramani Mahama has gone to his church. He's a member of the Assemblies of God Church, we are told. He had made a promise somewhere in January. And by March, he's going to give them a power plant. My brother, when people are looking for a position to serve people in this country, it becomes very expensive. That is why a lot of well-meaning Ghanaians exclude themselves when it comes to elections. In Ghana, to make yourself available to serve the people, it's almost like putting your head in a noose, ready to be hanged. My brother, people see the opportunity to serve as an opportunity to loot. Therefore, everywhere you go, people demand that you give them a share of the booty that you are about to loot when you get into power. They will have theirs now before you get into the looting spree. Can somebody prick another person and ask him if he understands what Black Rasta is saying? I am saying in repetition that in this country, when you offer yourself to be that sacrificial lamb to serve the nation, that sacrificial lamb that the nation truly demands and desires, it's like you have put your head in a noose. Everywhere you go, people demand that you give them a share of the booty you are about to go into to start that looting spree. My brother, I have spoken to a number of MPs in the past and even at present. They will tell you to be an MP in Ghana, you would have to spend what you don't have. You would have to borrow. You would have to spend out of a budget you don't have. Because in our country, even the electorate believes that you are latching onto a looting spree. And for that matter, they must take their share before you get in there. This mentality must be dealt with, my brother. You cannot win an election in Ghana when you don't give gifts. You can never win an election in Ghana if you do not go on a gift spree, giving people this, giving people that, visiting the chief imam. From the chief imam, you go to the rest of the clergy, my brother, my sister, and you have to be seen to be giving gifts. Now, the gifts in one way or the other are supposed to make the people believe that you have enough. Therefore, when you are coming in, you will steal less or you will loot less as compared to the one who is not giving anything. It means he is so poor, he can't give anything. This is where I want to sound a word of caution to both the giver of the gift and the electorate. My brother, the mentality must change, my brother, my sister. Our mentality must change, or else we will continue to be in the doldrums of poverty. The mindset of the people must change. I am so sad every time I see these people going around giving gifts. The other day, it was John Dramani Mahama's competitor. I've forgotten his name. He used to be a finance minister of this nation. My brother, my sister, he went around giving gifts to people all over the place because he wanted to be nominated as his party's flag bearer. Meanwhile, for several months, running into years, he had not paid his workers at the radio station and the TV station. Can you trust a man like this? Fortunately, he pulled out. Since he pulled out, he has not even given a needle out to anybody as a gift. So you can see that clearly. He was going out on this gift spree in order to have the people convinced enough to vote him. My brother, we need to think about this. I sympathize with Mahama. Mahama is not a rich man. Mahama has no money. Mahama is a poor man. My brother, there are so many people around Mahama who are donating some of these items that he's giving out. Left to Mahama alone, he's a church mouse like me. But every now and then, we see Mahama give this. We see Mahama go here and do that because there are sponsors behind him who believe in the vision and believe is in quotes. And that belief, my brother, my sister, only manifests itself properly when Mahama becomes president again. All those so-called sponsors, all those so-called people who donated sponsorship at the time that he was looking for the diadem, now will manifest properly and demand their pound of the flesh. My brother, when they get into power, they busily have to pay off their sponsors. And when they are paying off the sponsors, who becomes the sacrifice? It is the electorate. It is the people. It's so sad. When you go to America, it's a different ball game. When you go to England, it's a different ball game. The people are not waiting for Biden to come and give them an electricity machine or a sewing machine or a certain kind of gift, bicycles or even motorbikes. Before they will listen to him, they first and foremost want to find out exactly what he has new to offer. In Japan, it's the same thing. In England, it's the same thing. In Ghana, no. Gifts first. If you don't bring gifts, nobody listens to you. And even when you are on your way out, people are chasing you and asking you to give them food, money. I sympathize with Mahama. I sympathize with Ghanaian politicians. I sympathize with all well-meaning political people in Ghana who hitherto wanted to just make themselves available to serve the nation. But they have to play politics and give gifts that they themselves need. At the end of the day, they would have to pay back, and which people suffer? The electorates. Mr. Mahama, you can change the rhetoric. Former president, you can change the rhetoric. Already a lot of Ghanaians are believing in you. A lot of Ghanaians are gravitating towards you. It's time now to cut the gifts off. It's time now to start changing the mentality, the mindset of the people. She was sitting like John Kufuor said in his days. Did I say more? I'll leave it here. Now the next thing I want to look at is coming from Ghana Web, and it says, my new friendly tax reforms aimed at boosting indigenous businesses. And this is Dr. Bawumia to SIBA. We'll find out what SIBA is. Now the Vice President and flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has told members of the Council of Indigenous Business Associations of Ghana, SIBA, that his new tax reforms policy is carefully thought through to help the growth of businesses, especially indigenous businesses. Following his major policy address as the new flag bearer of the NPP last month, Dr. Bawumia has been interacting with various stakeholders to further explain his policies to them and also seek their views and suggestions. On Monday, March 25, that's yesterday in Accra, the Vice President had an extensive interactive session with SIBA, which is the largest informal group in the country. Well, the king of lies is still on the spree of lying. Not even the Ramadan can stop him. My brother, when it comes to Bawumia, the least said about this guy, the better. What policies hasn't Bawumia brought? What big talk haven't we heard from Bawumia? What does he have to show? Finally, the economic guru, the blacksmith that we mistook for Adam Smith, my brother, my sister, has shown us his true colors. He can only solve problems when he is in opposition. In opposition, he was able to stabilize the dollar. In opposition, he was able to see that farmers were suffering, teachers were suffering. Can go for their share of the booty. They don't look at how much work they have put in. They don't care. And a lot of these people are in the government sector. They sleep all day, all night. Some of them even work lotto. Some of them are on social media. That is their achievement. And when the month turns around, they go and take this money unashamedly. They are not ashamed. That's Bawumia. You are with this man close to 8 years. According to you, the man has been recalcitrant in Abekala Pass. Abekala Pass must be an idiot. Without mincing words, I will jump out of the bus so that the recalcitrant, arrogant driver can go to hell properly without a parachute. But you sit with your recalcitrant, arrogant driver, overaged car. You sit in it. You are still shouting Abekala Pass, Abekala Pass. Now that the car has crashed, luckily you came out with only a broken leg. A lot of us died and were buried in shallow graves. You have the audacity, the arrogance, the impudence to stand before us to tell us that you have a certain tax policy. Get out of here. Are you mad? What's wrong with you? Are you serious? Why are you not resigning? You are not resigning because you believe in whatever the driver is doing. Crash with the driver. Today you have the guts to tell us you have a certain policy. From one arrogant man to another arrogant man, and his name is Napo. I read, and this is from Tree News. It says, Lord shedding timetable. This government behaves like a monarch. Bawa reacts to energy minister's comments. Who is this Bawa? Me, I don't know him, but let's see who he is. Member of Parliament, MP for Bongo constituency, and a member of Parliament's Mines and Energy Committee, Edward Abambiri Bawa, has criticized the energy minister, Matthew Opoku Prempe, for calling the bluff of Ghanaians, asking for a load shedding timetable to be published. Bawa characterized the behavior of the Akufu Bawumia regime as that of a monarch. Speaking to Alfredo Kamsi, host of TV3's Ghana Tonight on Monday, March 25, on the backdrop of the president's comments, the minister's comments, I beg your pardon, he stated, it's just one of the issues about how the government seems to be treating Ghanaians. Arden, they think that they have the right to rule and they behave with the mentality of the monarch. The words of Bawa Abambiri. He's a man from the Upper East region. He couldn't have said it better. My brother, as for the Nana Akufo-Addo government, it's one of the biggest mistakes we made. And sometimes I go back to some of my old tapes. I play them back and I said, Black Rasta, for the first time you have been fooled by these octogenarians. Jesus. Soft-spoken man, seemed so intelligent. He was incorruptible. He was a man from the days Ghana was called Gold Coast. He understood the rudiments of this country. In the days when patriotism was a badge of honor, he represented. Why would I not vote for a man like that? But he has hauled me up. He has lampooned me. He has thrown me under the bus. And to add insults to injury, he had another soft-spoken gentleman who had been touted as an economic whiz-kid. He had a pretty wife to boot. My God. And when I saw them, I said, thank God, I have lived long enough to see a Ghana in the offing that will have a badge of honor as patriotism. Hallelujah. I am too old to be corrupt. I have had my life already, so I don't need anything. I chose Bawumia because he had the brains and he's an economic whiz kid. All that was fanful respect. All that was 419. No wonder they had an agenda 111. Today I turn my back and I look at Nana Akufo-Addo, compare him to what he says today, and I tell myself, the devil is a chameleon. Hallelujah. Hi. And he has surrounded himself with his ilk. Very arrogant. Now this Napo guy was the guy who dared infiltrate the very, very poignant legacy of Kwame Nkrumah. This guy called Napo, my brother, was the man who said that Nana Akufo-Addo had achieved more in the education field more than Kwame Nkrumah. In other words, he had built more schools more than Kwame Nkrumah. He had achieved more in education than Kwame Nkrumah. Napo, my brother, my sister, anytime he opens his mouth, you can see who employed him. The devil himself, Satan. Birds of the same feathers fly together. These are the people who will do anything for power. People are asking you. We see dumso all over the place. You pass here, foin. You pass here, kania foin. You pass here, pin. You pass here, pon. Unya. Messi, ntuntum bekama. Onkam. Nonjai tono maso. Tono. Come out and tell me straight away. Say dumso abba. And to be nya careful. Na me nya careful kakra. Na me fa pon. Me fa pon. Me fa pin. Me fa pon. Kachi. Onuya. Maso tono. Mintumunda. Abada. This is what we keep asking you. Give us a timetable so that when I know that at this time, Kania Foin, I will be careful. Or Tumfo himself said, his gadgets have broken down, all because of your Kania Foin. For the first time, we got the tree name. The international indigenous name is, Dumso. But the indigenous Akan name for Dumso is Kania Foin, as given to us by Otumfuo. His gadgets are all broken. You pass behind and buy back Otumfuo's broken gadgets. How about my grandfather's tea kettle that broke because of your Otumso? He's nobody. You won't give him anything. I leave it here. It's been the Black Pot, aka Kukushudamo, where we speak truth to power. My name, Black Rasta.